Hi, you're welcome to this module of the UI/UX design training for beginners. Alright, UI/UX design is the design of websites and mobile apps application. So this training is designed to take you from absolute beginner level to advanced level in the part of UI/UX design. So I'd like you to stay with me, follow through, and get the best experience out of this training. So very quickly, I'll begin by defining UI/UX design. So what's the definition of UI/UX design? UX stands for user experience and UI stands for user interface. Okay, UI/UX design is simply to make products, websites and mobile app in this case that are useful, usable and desirable. So unlike graphic design, which focuses on visual elements like to convey information, UX designers focus on the complete interaction. I think this is UX design, not UX designer. UX design focus on the complete interaction between a user and a product. So the interaction between a user and a product, because graphic design is just to convey an information through infographics, images, elements and all of that, design elements. But when it comes to UI/UX design, there are factors we are considering. There's a human factor and you have a product that is being interacted with by that human. So it focuses on the complete interaction between a user and a product. A product in this case is not biscuit, is not bread, is not provision. A product in this case is website or mobile app. Get it? So the UI, still defining what UI is. This is an example of a website. So the UI talks about the user interface. The user interface are those visual elements we see when interacting with a website or a mobile app. So you can see this website now, you see this image, you see this I don't know what this thing is this rope that is the way it is, whatever. So you see this create experience with us, you see this color shade, you see this circle and all. So whatever you can see with your eye, you see this blue color, is called the interface. The interface are those visual elements we see when interacting with a website or a mobile app. So I'll go to the next slide. So this is a mobile app. The previous slide was showing us an example of a website. So this is a mobile, is an e-commerce mobile app. So you can see this beautiful lady. Her face is not so obvious, but I think this app sells Indian wears for ladies. So you can see the button, you can see the image of the product, you can see the price and all that. What you see here is called the interface. You understand? While interacting with the product, while interacting with the website, the mobile app, that visual element you can see with your eyes tangibly is called the user interface. Why user experience is how you feel when you are using this product and how you feel when you notice that this product is solving your problem, how easy the product is to use. When I say product in this context, I'm talking about website or mobile app. So very quickly, you will notice that in the name UI/UX, something is common, which is the word U or the letter U. So we'll need to explain what that letter stands for. So let's go to the users. So the U in the UI and UX talks about user. It stands for user rather. So user interface, user experience. So the user is the person who is going to live, eat and breathe your products, which is your website or your mobile app. So it is the job of the UI/UX designer to give them an enjoyable and useful experience. So when they are using the app, you could see how this guy is excited. I wonder what he's doing. I guess he's chatting with his girlfriend. So You could see how excited he is. Of course, this, or maybe he's winning a promo or lottery something, but then he's enjoying using the product. You understand? So it is the job, it is your job, I mean your job as a UI UX designer, to give the users an enjoyable product and useful experience. You understand? But you can't do that except you first of all know who they are. So it's first you know who your users are. You understand? I'm going to teach you how to do user research. That's the UX part. So it is necessary for you to create a persona as a UX designer to know your users. You get? So very quickly we'll move to the next slide. So what's the role of the UX designer? So the UX design is the process of planning the experience a person has when they interact with your website or your mobile app. You understand? So the UX design, you can see that this person is sketching some screens. So I think the first screen, this is the login screen. You see this is the person's profile. I believe they'll put their name here or their email. This is the password, this is the button. So this is the UX designer planning what the app will look like. You understand? So this is one of the stages of your design process. So it is the UX designer work to plan the experience a person has when they interact with the product. So the UX designer decides where the buttons should be, where icons should be, and all of that, so that it can make the product seamless and easy to use. It's also the UX design process focuses on the interaction that a human user has with the everyday product and services. That's the website and all of that. So the goal of UX design is to make using these products, anytime I say product in this training, I'm talking about a website or a mobile app. These are digital products. So the goal of the UX design is to make using these products and services, both digital and physical, easy, logical, and fun. So when a user is, take for instance, some of us dwell on WhatsApp almost every day because it's an exciting place to be. You want to check somebody's status, you want to upload your status, you want to do a ball, you want to post some funny content and all of that, you want to reply message, you want to go to WhatsApp group and get information. So they've made WhatsApp very fun to use. So as a designer, it is your job to create products via designs, of course, that will be very fun for users to use. You understand? So like I said, UX designer plans what the experience will look like, while the UI designers work on the interface. But in this case, you are learning how to be a UI and UX designer. You understand? In the advanced settings, especially when you are working with big companies, these guys, they specialize. The UX designer is different, the UI designer is different. But in our country, third world countries, or if you are just starting out, you may need to just have a knowledge of the two. Then maybe, of course, as the time goes on, you might just choose where you want to specialize. Most times people, especially graphic designers, they just become UI designers and all of that. So but let me tell you a secret. Come close. UX designers earn more than UI designers. That's a fact. You can do your research on that. So the UI designers often have a background in graphic design, interior design, or visual art and all of that. So they are responsible for making the interface, the user interface, that are easy to use and satisfying to the user. I don't know if you've used any app that you are not satisfied probably with the interface or how the app works. So that's called a bad UI or bad user experience. So as you are coming to learn this skill, of course, you need to learn how to design stuff that will be satisfying to the user. You understand? So it is the responsibility of the UI designer to bring the UX designer's ideas to life. Look at the previous slide. So these sketches that this guy is doing, these are called wireframes, low fidelity wireframes. So when they are done sketching, in this case, when it will be you, you are both the UI and the UX designer. So when you are done with your sketches, it is your job to bring those stuff to life, like give it color, give it a good feel, and do a lot on it, so that when the users are interacting with the app, you'll be sure that they'll be excited. So let's now do a short comparison between graphic design and UI UX design. So I've heard some persons ask questions like, in fact, when I was starting out, I never knew the difference until I learned. So you might be like me, or like some other persons that are always asking, what's the difference between UI UX design and graphic design? Of course, there's graphics in UI UX design, but there's a difference between the two. As the name implies, graphic design, UI UX design. So there is design. The both of them are designs, you understand? But there is a clear-cut difference between the two of them. So I'll just say them. I don't have a list in this slide. This was supposed to be an interactive session where it's a physical class. You can say, okay, you tell us what is different and you tell us and all of that. But then I'm going to just give you the difference. So the simple difference is that graphic design, okay, let me just highlight them. I think it will go a long way. All right, so here's the difference. Oh god, what did I do like that? So UI UX design is dynamic, while graphic design is static. I will explain all of this. So you notice that examples of graphic designs are flyers, brochures, handbills, and the lights, banner, calendar, and all of that. They are not moving. They both have designs, but that of graphic is not moving. You can't press any button. It's static. But for UI UX design, website, of course, is being designed, is beautiful, just like you have this one. See that it's like a design, but then when you click on these buttons or some of these text, they take you somewhere else, you understand? So UI UX design is dynamic, while graphic is static. UI UX design involves user interaction or human interaction. Graphic design doesn't. They just need to look at it and go. But for UI UX design, of course, even you today, I believe you have interacted with your WhatsApp. Even if you've not gone to, you have done WhatsApp today. So there's human interaction when it comes to UI design, but graphic design doesn't have human interaction. They only view. If you see a post, you can look at it and all of that, you move. So UI design solves user problem. It solves users problem, but graphic design conveys information. Solve users problem, conveys information. So graphic design is mainly to convey information, you understand? So you have church flyers, school flyers, brochure, banner, and all of that to convey information and all that. So that's the difference. You can get more information on this on Google. Google is your friend in this tech age. Google should be your best friend. Right now, ChatGPT is on, so you can explore ChatGPT to get more information. So very quickly, we'll move to the next part of our training, which is basic design principle. Remember, we're talking about UI UX design, so we need to know some basic design principles so that it will help us when we are designing our product, like our website or our mobile app. So they are both principles and elements. When it comes to design, we have principles and elements. Let's begin with the principles, which is on my left hand. So the first principle I have here talks about hierarchy. Hierarchy talks about emphasis. So when you want to place emphasis in your design, I think hierarchy is used, and hierarchy follows several principles, just like size, color, contrast, alignment, repetition and brightness. So this is used to denote importance, emphasis. Take for instance, you look at this flyer, you notice that to drive growth for startup is like the biggest text in this flyer. So it's talking about emphasis. So this program is for startup, to help startup drive growth. So what's the theme? The theme is leveraging digital media to drive growth. So the emphasis here is helping startup drive growth. You understand? So hierarchy is used for emphasis when it comes to graphic design. Let me check this design. Okay, let's check this website. You are seeing this create experiences with us. So this is talking about emphasis. You notice that all that text in this website have normal font size, but create experience. So this is talking about emphasis. So when you see, you know that okay, you could create an experience, memorable one for that matter, with this brand. Let's check if we can see hierarchy here again. Are you seeing new, featured? So this talks about hierarchy, like emphasis. When you see featured, you know that okay, there are some new collections here, or sponsored collection if you see new. So in designs generally, hierarchy is one principle that we make use of. So hierarchy simply talks about emphasis. So the next principle is balance and space. Balance and space. You also note balance and space. You notice in this flyer, balance talks about how elements, we'll get to element, don't worry. It talks about how elements are weighted against each other on different sides. So when you are doing your design, you need to observe balance, like your elements should be positioned properly, and you should also have space. When balance and space is added, you have an awesome design. You notice this blank space, all this, they are obeying this principle. It makes the design catchy, it makes it interesting to look at, you understand, or look upon rather. So your design should be balanced vertically and horizontally, and sometimes diagonally also. So you see that there is you see this side is almost equal to, if not equal, it is, I guess it is. So you need to balance your design. This is a principle we obey when it comes to graphic design or design in general. The next principle is color. You need to choose the right colors when you are designing. You need to choose the right colors. Have different meaning. I think in one of the modules we'll be discussing about colors. Colors have different meaning. We have brand colors and all of that. When we get to colors, we'll discuss that. So you use nice colors for your design. Contrast is another principle you want to adhere to, or you want to obey. Contrast means using opposite colors, or for proper visual for proper visual. So you need colors that contrast. Just think that there's a light background and we have this purple color. There's a light background and we have a dark tone right up. This is not too bold. Okay, it's better now. So imagine me painting this guy's name like David Adeleke. I'm giving it maybe a gray color. It's not going to come out very well. So you need to obey the law of contrast when you are doing your design. Then repetition is under design law. You notice that these colors are repeating. It's called repetition. Notice this circle. There are two circles in this design. That's repetition. You see this fancy stuff at the back of the circle. You see it repeating. You see this podcast stuff repeating, colors repeating, text repeating, element repeating, shapes. You see this yellow shape. They are repeating. So this, the law of repetition being obeyed. So that's design principles. Okay, let me define itself. I was just explaining them. So design principles are rules you follow when carrying out your design project. So design principles are rules you follow, basic design rules that should be followed when carrying out your design project. So hierarchy is one root. So for emphasis, you use hierarchy. You understand? You make your word bold, you give it a good color, catchy color and all that. For emphasis, you see some church flyers. I think, let me just get one. So you notice some church flyers, for instance, just take a look at this. So you see Jehovah Rapha, how bold it is. That's obeying the law of emphasis. You understand? Hierarchy rather. So the theme is Jehovah Rapha. So when you see this flyer from afar, what catches your attention at first is Jehovah Rapha, because that's the emphasis of this program. Of course, we know it's 7 days healing service, but they are telling you that there is a Jehovah that can heal. You understand? That's the theme. So this is liberation ministry, then other details. So for emphasis, you notice that that principle is playing out, hierarchy principle. So let's go back. So design principles are, what's it called? Basic design rules you follow when carrying out your design program. Why? Design elements are components you put together to form your design. You understand? These components could be shapes, colors, images, space, line, and text. Shapes, colors, image, space, line, and text. So let's review, let's just review this design. You will notice that these elements are planar. So principles are rules, elements are components. I'm trying to contrast them. Principles are rules you follow, while elements are components you put together. Let me make this easy for you. Let me just take this. I'll duplicate this with Ctrl D. Principles are rules you follow, while elements are components you put together. Ctrl D. Please don't forget this one. elements are components. So every design project you see is a combination of several components. components you put together. Togther. So if I want to do a flyer like this, for instance, maybe a business flyer or a program flyer, so I have to just put components together. You can see these components are shapes, color, image, space, line, and all of that. So you can see all those components here. Then background, I think it should be background instead. background. So you see the background. This background is an image. So I have background shapes. You see this circular shape, you see this curve shape. So these are, you put different components together to form your design project. So we'll stop here for now. So in the next module, I'll be telling you the tools you need for this training. I'll be telling you the tools. Remember, this is UI UX design training for beginners. This training is designed to take you from absolute beginner level to advanced level. So in the next module, I'll be telling you about the tools you need for this training. So thank you for staying with me to the end. Have a lovely day. See you in the better side of life.